you've come to Thailand for the darkness. It's part of your plan, it's part of your agenda, it's part of your budget. There genuinely is nothing wrong with that, in my opinion, as long as you're doing everything legally, keeping everything above board. There's a service out here, there's an industry out here, everywhere. It's not just Thailand, it's everywhere. 3 years ago, I was living in an area called Nakano-ku in Tokyo, and I used to get my hair cut by this guy. They used to have these 1,000 yen, which is, call it a tenner, it's not a tenner with the conversion, it's about 5-6 quid, really cheap haircut. Used to go there once a week, a bit of a top knot going on, got the guy to top it up, shave it. Really nice guy, spoke a bit of English, I spoke a bit of Japanese. We sort of, muddled our way through a conversation. We spoke about football, we spoke about food, all the basic stuff you speak to a barber about. One day my wife came with me, she walked me to the barber's and she left. And he was like, oh, is your wife Japanese? Because she speaks perfect Japanese, she's fluent in Japanese. I was like, no, she's from Thailand, but she's grown up here. Oh, I love Thailand. It's like I go there once a year with my friends. I was like, cool, where do you go? Just go to Bangkok. Literally just Bangkok. Surprising how many people come to Thailand, especially people from Asia, because obviously you're not traveling 12, 15 hours. How many people come from Asia and just stay in Bangkok for like 4 days, 5 days? As much as I love Bangkok, I feel like if you come to Thailand, Bangkok is the sort of entry port, the exit port, but you're not coming to Thailand for Bangkok. There's other cities that I would rather visit than Bangkok, in my personal opinion. I said, what do you like to do? And he was just open, blatant, out there. Starts talking about how he likes the girls, he likes the bars, he likes to take girls back to his hotel, he likes to get girls back with his friends for parties. And I was just sat there nodding along. Openness is refreshing. I'm not going to judge him for it. He's a nice guy. He's not doing anything wrong. Harmless. There is a caveat to this harmlessness, in my honest opinion, because yes, the first time I came here to Thailand, young, free, single, with my friends, we did, in fact, have a little walk through Nana Plaza. The curiosity was there. When you go into those places, some people are designed for it, some people will love it. Us, a young group of lads, not so much, felt uncomfortable. It felt sort of like we were doing something wrong, particularly a couple of the establishments, a couple of the things that you see when you're in those places. Even as recent as last year, I think it was a year ago? No, 2 years ago now, bloody hell. I was living in Bangkok and a friend of mine messaged me and said, are you living in Bangkok right now? I've not seen him for a couple of years. I was like, yeah, mate, where are you? He's like, we're in Bangkok. He's with his girlfriend, so we go out for a couple of drinks. And his girlfriend actually used to live in Thailand, so she was kind of his tour guide. I was happy to just follow them wherever they wanted to go. Soy Cowboy, that was the first stop. Just wanted to see it. I think there is that curiosity. Khao San Road, obviously very different, but people have that curiosity. Wangla Road in Phuket is the same. We're sat there outside a bar on Soy Cowboy, and I find it harmless. It is like every single POV YouTube video you see. Walking down, the girls are like, hey handsome, they squeeze your muscles, they pinch your ass, all that sort of shit. But they don't do anything overly aggressive. It's all harmless fun, especially if you're a single man. We were sat at this bar, we had a drink. Some girls on the opposite bar are like, hey, come here next, come here next. It's like, went and got a taxi straight down to Koh San. That was stop number 2. And his girlfriend mentioned, should we go to a sky bar? So we're like, yeah, cool. And then what was it called? Is it called Above 8? Honestly, I'm not sure. Above 8 or something, like Above Soy 8. That's what I think the name comes from. Incredible view of the city. All those sky bars in Bangkok are worth checking out. In fact, I think the concept of the higher the better is actually incorrect. I think the more medium, the better, because you're really surrounded by the action. Vanilla Sky, the one that's in Phrom Phong, just by Phrom Phong station, you're really in the middle of the buildings, and everywhere you look, there's lights, very nice atmosphere, very nice bar. I highly recommend it. After we finished there at 2 a.m. and they were staying on Sukhumvit, I was in Bangkok at the time. So I thought to myself, right, I'll walk with them to Sukhumvit. I can jump a taxi in a straight line instead of messing around in all the side soys. I had to walk through one of the soys to get to Sukhumvit, through by the Nana area. There were clubs, there were bars, but this was about 2 a.m. So many people had, overflown onto the street at this time. And this is, in my opinion, where the gray area of things being legally okay and morally okay starts to overshadow everything, because what you see at that time of night on the streets in the alleyways, under the stairs. You will literally see people pinned up against the wall or the fence under the stair, like in the darkness. The things you see at that time of night, the things you hear, just little snippets of it, that's where you start to think to yourself, like, this really isn't right. And you know that it's going on. Of course, you know these things happen. We all know that there's some dark shit going on. Again, in many countries in the world, there's dark shit going on, especially when it comes to the adult orientated entertainment. What you see at that time is a very clear age discrepancy. And I'm going to make a bit of a generalization here. I think the young lads, like myself, age 25, who are just curious, they've all disappeared. They're long gone at this time. They might be in a club somewhere. They might be at a beach party somewhere if they're on an island. They might be back with some girls somewhere else. They're long gone by this point. Got the curiosity out of the system at 9, 10 p.m. And now what's happening is you've got the people who are here for that shit. They're still loitering around. They've been shopping around. Maybe they've just come out. Old men pinned up against the wall by girls that literally look like their grandchildren. Guys at ATMs, it might be a meme, but they are literally being held in from behind. They know that once that cash is in their hand, it's theirs. It's a very sad sight on both ends of the spectrum. I mentioned one time before, the most uncomfortable I've ever felt was not at nighttime. I don't really go out at nighttime. I'm not a nighttime person nowadays. I'm a this person. Beautiful morning, go out, burn my skin, etc. I mentioned before in another video a long time ago, the most uncomfortable I've ever felt was not at Nana Plaza, Soy Cowboy. It wasn't at some sort of walking street party scene, nighttime. It was at 6 o'clock in the afternoon in a Tesco Lotus in Phuket. That big one in the middle that's near the Central. I was in there, I was at the till point waiting to pay, me, my wife, my baby, and suddenly this girl comes up, and honest to God, she looks about 18 and she's got a baby hanging off her here. She didn't look healthy. The way her body was, the way her face was, she didn't look healthy. Now you might be one of those people who's very defensive of people you don't know. I'd be like, oh, you judgmental prick. Yeah, maybe so, maybe so. Didn't look healthy. She didn't look like she was all here. Suddenly this old man comes up behind her, and I'm thinking, as I'm watching this, please don't be together. Please don't be together. Please let this be like his granddaughter or his daughter or something like that. But no, he starts touching her body in such inappropriate places in a fucking supermarket at like 5, 6 in the afternoon. It was disgusting. Even though some of these women sign up for this shit and people will say, oh, they know what they're doing, it's a mutual agreement. I'm sure there's an arrangement in place, don't get me wrong about that, there's no confusion there. Morally, it's so fucking wrong. It's so disgusting to see. A grown man should always know better. Always know better. Always have that in the back of his mind. What if this was my daughter? Would I want this with my daughter? Would I want my 18, 19, 20-year-old daughter with a man 3 times her age? Fucking of course not. No man would want that. And they are the people that we have to worry about coming out to Thailand. That BBC documentary a while back, it was like this really snippeted, zoomed in negative view of Thailand, and myself included, most of us just laughed at it. We knew that they knew exactly what they were doing, and it wasn't intelligent what they were doing. They were just looking for the lowest hanging fruit, the most obvious thing to go after. People who've got that sort of idea in their head of like, you know, they just let the media guide their view, their opinion on things. They'll be sat there like, oh yeah, all the women are after money. Oh yeah, it's so corrupt, etc. It's like people who live here and love Thailand know that shit. Even the nighttime industry, it's a small piece. It does serve a purpose. However, who it is serving that purpose for can turn out to be very problematic. Of course, to go into that type of industry, to be a customer in that type of industry, you have to be wired a certain way. Silly as it sounds, I think the point of what I'm trying to say is, It's the level of that fucked up wiring that can be the most problematic. There's a difference between curiosity and a full-blown lack of morals, lack of knowing what's right and wrong, and being willing to come out into a situation like this, into a scenario like this, and manipulate the situation, manipulate people, manipulate vulnerable people, basically so you can get your dick wet. Hopefully, if you are coming to Thailand, you're coming for this type of paradise and you're not coming for that dark shit, because there's a lot more to this country than just a little bit of nighttime, oh fish, a little bit of nighttime activity and a few creepy old sex tourists.